I'm going to tell you what the cabinet looks like right now. Who they're looking at. Secretary of State. We know the name. Susan Rice.
I like
Obama's
Susan Rice.
National Security Advisor. He wants Susan Rice. Second place is Anthony Blinken, Obama's former Deputy Secretary of State and Deputy National Security Advisor. Those are the names so far. There's a few other ones, but those are the main ones. Secretary of Defense, Michelle Forney. Hillary's pick in 2016.
Oh, I thought he'd go with Captain Crunch or something.
He's looking at them, and he's looking at Jay Johnson, Obama's Department of Homeland Security head. Attorney General, Sally Yates, Korea federal prosecutor.
Sally Yates is a beast.
She's the one who refused to defend Trump's executive order banning travelers from several Muslim-majority countries. Sally Yates
is a beast.
Second one is Senator Doug Jones from Alabama, Secretary of Treasury. This is a scary one. Elizabeth Warren, first on the list.
Really?
It's very scary for the industry you are a part of.
Yes.
The second is Lael Brainerd, Governor of Federal Reserve. Okay. Then you have Secretary of Homeland Security. They have Lisa Monaco, Obama's Homeland Security Advisor, or Alejandro Mayorkas, former Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which that means the whole thing could potentially open up. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, New Mexico Governor, or Karen Bass, Congressional Black Caucus leader. Secretary of Labor, Julie Su, extremely progressive nominee, former California Labor and Workforce Development Agency. This is not good news. And Secretary of Labor, he's also looking at the one and only legendary Vermont Senator, Bernie Sanders.
Really?
Right?
Sanders.
He is looking at
running
Sanders.
the DOL.
Here's the
Think
thing.
about the Department of Labor being ran by Sanders.
Wow.
I'll give you three more, and then I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Secretary of Education, Lily Escalon Garcia, former National Education Association president and current elementary school teacher. Secretary of Commerce, Meg Whitman. Secretary of Energy, Ernest Moniz and Elizabeth Sherwood Randall, both on Obama's cabinet. Moniz is tied to fossil fuel, so progressives may not want to go that. They don't think he's far left enough because Moniz kind of wants fossil fuel. Administrative Environmental Protection Agency, Mary Nichols, Queen of Green. I don't know if you know who she is. She's the California Air Regulator. Head of Veteran Affairs, Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
I like
That's
Pete
the list.
What's his title?
He's going to be potentially the head of Veteran Affairs.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's the list.
Did he have a military background?
He had a military background.
Well, people like him.
And by the way, he's a very well-spoken guy. He's on Fox News every day pretty much. He's a very well-spoken guy.
You got to give him respect for showing up on Fox News and just
I do. 100% I do. Yeah, 100% I do.
Yeah, but he's
like
smart, man. He'll take the airwaves anywhere he can.
Yeah,
and
he's very, very eloquent. He's very well-spoken. So that's the list. That's what's going to happen
How
day
do you feel
one.
about the list? Aside from Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, because I know you're not fans of that.
It's not about how I feel about the list. Biden's committed to being the most progressive president we've ever seen in America, including Obama. That's what his commitment is. He said that, his words.
His platform.
I will be the most progressive president and have the most progressive cabinet we've ever had in America.
Mm-hmm. And let's take it a couple steps further. He already has the most progressive senator as his vice president. Boom. She's even more progressive than he is. The biggest fear I have is who are they getting their marching orders from? Is it all AOC and her crew and Bernie calling the shots? I mean, they are not bashful either. Have you noticed how bold they are? Yeah. They're not real subtle in what they want. They want complete control of that Democratic Party. The other thing, when you look at those cabinet list names, so many of those deals were already cut during the primaries, right? A lot of times these guys will bow out of the primary for a favor down the road, and you know that Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, I mean, with the following that he has with young kids at Gen X, I mean, you know that there was something promised to him. Gen Z. Yeah, so they were all guaranteed this. You know, it also shows the importance of Georgia and just how big this really truly is coming up in that revote. Because like Ted Cruz flat out says, hey, we can stop some of this in the first year if we still control the Senate. If not, they are pushing every one of these things, and they'll get their way, and it'll all happen. So, man, Georgia's huge. You know, I'm sure we'll talk about Georgia later, but, man, the amount of money that you're going to see being poured into that state in the next month and a half is going to make your head spin.
Well, I think we saw some numbers already come out. $200 million, is that what the number there?
For what? Georgia? Yeah, $200 million is what they're thinking about spending on those two seats. And by the way, you know they spent $130 million to beat Lindsey Graham. Jamie Harrison from South Carolina used $130 million to beat Lindsey Graham, and they lost. Lindsey Graham spent $73 a vote. Jamie spent $118 a vote, and they still lost. And McConnell against McGrath, they spent for Georgia $90 million, ended up spending $75 million and still lost to McConnell. So it's going to be interesting how much money they spend to win Georgia.
But I mean, in order to win South Carolina, in order to win Kentucky, you can't play it light. Like, you got to go massive with it. And even then, spending that much money in South Carolina, they could not do it. Pat, so that's an uphill battle over there.
You love analogies. And, I think the founding fathers are just so brilliant the way they set this country up with 3 branches. You got the president, you got the House, you got Congress, you got the Senate. Because you don't want one party having all the power. It's just not really good for the country.
Unless it's all Republican, obviously.
Well,
you know what? Let's call it spade a spade.
I'm down
here.
for what makes the most sense for the country. And I think having opposite voices is healthy and very much needed. I think if
there you go, Tom.
If somehow the Senate goes over to the Democrat side, this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be like you have teenagers, right? And you go on a month-long cruise and you leave them your ATM card, a stocked liquor cabinet, and all your guns. I mean, there's no one overseeing them.
Sounds like a party to me,
They can do whatever the hell they want. And that, when I'm looking down the road, that's what I see, because they are not shy about telling you what they want to do. And their end vision for this country is nothing like the country was set out to be and how it's been for the most part of the last 240 years.